Hello, welcome back to the channel. Right, you may hear a little bit of wind noise. It's a really windy day today and I've got a fire breast just there. You can't see it, but it's there. So, and unfortunately when it's windy it comes down the chimney and you can hear it. So anyway, hopefully it'll be alright. I've had to put something up against the door because it was rattling about. The last vinyl first play I did was the Who Sell Out. Sounded fab. And right at the end of it I gave you a choice, and it was going to be a Kinks album because there was both Kinks albums, and it was a toss up between Face to Face or Arthur, and most people voted for Arthur. I've been playing it a little bit. I played it a little bit last year when I was really absorbing Village Green, because obviously I know Kinks tracks. I mean, a few of you know that, but I don't know the albums, and there's a lot of album tracks I'd never heard before. So I'm sort of discovering the Kinks properly, and not just You Really Got Me and all of that, which I love, but Village Green really did change something, and this is going to do exactly the same, I think. I've been playing it a little bit at work on my headphones, and I'm falling in love with this album. I can't even make up my mind. This might even be as good as Village Green. I don't know, because I loved that and I've not played this as much, but anyway, here he goes. That's why the videos go on for 15 minutes, Stripey. Shut up. Right, so obviously I thought this was when I scanned it into Discogs, I'm going to have another ramble. When I scanned it into Discogs, it came up, it was released 2015, but on the sticker it says the Kinks 50th. Now this album was released in 1969, so not sure about that one. So shall we open it? Oh, another thing I heard as well, I don't know if any of you's caught this, because everyone knows this was going to be a TV drama, and it never ever got done. I'll explain that, and I'll go into it a little bit more during the info bit that I do. Thanks for all your input, guys, appreciated it. And it was going to be aired Saturday, the 2nd of November last year, 2019, at 2:45 PM on Radio 4. It was about an hour and 15 minutes long. I've tried to source it and find it. I can't. Any of you's heard that? I'd love to have a little listen and see what it's all about. Anyway, let's get this record open, shall we? Yeah, like I said, absolutely loving this. Gatefold sleeve. Another one that wifey got me for Christmas. So let's see if I can make a nick in it somewhere. At last! And it's a gatefold sleeve. Normally they're a breeze. That looks nice. That's nice, obviously the front. Sorry about the lights, guys. I've got two big patio windows and that. I feel like I'm always apologising lately. So what you about? And the back with an excellent write-up by Julian Mitchell. And this one's by Jeffrey Cannon. There's two liner notes on here. But in the US, I think it's someone else. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. This one's obviously the stereo, and they're really bizarre. Obviously representing Australia. So should we have a little look at the record? Victoria, Queen Victoria, and our protagonist Arthur. And on the back, lyrics, Ray Davies lyrics, can't beat them. Right, let's have a look at the record. Boom. That's lovely. But I'm still a bit confused about when this was done. I'm sure it says 2015. Obviously on here it's just saying 1969. But it's beautiful, look. Lovely 180 grammer with the Kinks logo on a black BMG label. I think they was all originally on pie, weren't they? Looking forward to giving that a play. But obviously, before we start, what do we know about Arthur and the decline and fall of the British Empire? Arthur, or The Decline and Fall of the British Empire, is the 7th studio album by the Kinks, released in October 1969. Bassist Pete Quaife left the Kinks in April of '69 and was replaced by John Nobby Dalton, who previously stood in for Quaife in 1966 when Pete Quaife broke his leg in a car accident. Arthur was the last Kinks album to be released in mono, and the mono edition was not released in the US. Ray Davies constructed the concept album as a soundtrack to a Granada television play and developed the storyline with novelist Julian Mitchell. The television programme was never produced. The story is partially inspired by the Davies brothers' older sister Rose, who emigrated to Australia in 1964 with her husband Arthur Anning. Her departure devastated Ray Davies, and it inspired him to write the song Rosie, Won't You Please Come Home, included on the 1966 album Face to Face. The lead character in the album, the fictional Arthur Morgan, modelled after Anning, is a carpet layer whose family's plight in the opportunity-poor setting of post-war England is depicted. Writer Julian Mitchell detailed the storyline and characters in depth, explaining in the liner notes for the album's LP release. Arthur Morgan lives in a London suburb in a house called Shangri-La, with a garden and a car and a wife called Rose, and a son called Derek, who's married to Liz, and they have 2 very nice kids, Terry and Marilyn. Derek, Liz and the kids are emigrating to Australia. Arthur did have another son called Eddie. He was named after Arthur's brother, who was killed in the Battle of Somme. Arthur's Eddie was killed too, in Korea. Davies later commented in his autobiography, X-Ray, that Anning later told me that he knew that Arthur had been partially inspired by him. It reminded him of home. I told Arthur I felt guilty for using him as a subject for the song, but he shrugged off my apology, saying he was flattered. 3 singles were released from Arthur. Driving was released on the 20th of June, '69, Shangri-La on the 12th of September, and Victoria, 15th of October. The artwork for Arthur was created by Bob Lawry. The album was packaged in a gatefold sleeve and included a shaped insert depicting Queen Victoria holding a house containing Arthur Morgan. The album was critically acclaimed at the time of release, especially in the US rock press. It was favourably compared to Tommy by The Who, released earlier in the year. In Rolling Stone magazine, Arthur was spotlighted in its lead section with back-to-back reviews by Mike Daly and Greil Marcus. Daly called it an album that is a masterpiece on every level, Ray Davies' finest hour, the Kinks' supreme achievement. Rolling Stone reviewer Greil Marcus also praised the record and said, less ambitious than Tommy and far more musical. Arthur is by all odds the best British album of 1969. It shows that Pete Townshend still has worlds to conquer, and the Beatles had a lot of catching up to do. Switch magazine included Arthur on their 100 best albums of the 20th century. Mojo featured the album in their list of top 50 most eccentric albums, and the album was also included in the book 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die. Should we give it a vinyl first play? Come on in. What a fantastic record that is. Is that as good as Village Green? It's pretty bloody good, that's for sure. The vinyl sounded great. It does definitely feel very, very, very British. And the vinyl sounded great. Nice and quiet, some nice separation on the stereo. There was all stuff going on through the album. Anyway, this is a masterpiece, guys. Right, let's quickly go through the tracks, shall we? Right, track 1. Victoria. Love the riff on this. This was the 3rd single from the album, and like I said, I love the tempo, love the riff, and I don't think it's too sarcastic. It's more like a little bit of satire, bit of irony. You know, the Kinks love a bit of irony, but I think it's a love letter to the Queen, really, Queen Victoria, the English Empire, and it expresses the simple and complete adulation for Queen and country by the downtrodden working class. Great opening track. Love Victoria. Sounded fantastic. Track 2. Yes Sir, No Sir. Unquestioned authoritarian British Army. I mean, the lyric "Permission to breathe, sir" kind of sums the whole song up pretty well. Love the middle bit. Doesn't matter who you are. That bit just... the whole album is amazing. I'm going to play it again after I've done this. Track 3. Some Mother's Son. This is heartbreaking. This is devastating. It's like an anti-war song, and it's about Arthur's son, obviously, who died in Korea. Heartbreaking. Simply heartbreaking. Track 4. Driving. This was the 1st single from the album, and I can't believe it didn't chart. I love this. It's beyond me why it didn't get in the charts. I love the lazy, almost sort of camp way it's sung. It's got a lovely swing to this tune, and it's Arthur pretty much convincing his wife Rose, look, we've got to get away from all this, so let's just go for a drive in the country and just enjoy our moment and forget about all of our troubles for a while. Track 5, Brainwashed. This sounded great. Be a free thinker, have a voice and mind of your own. Don't accept the life that everyone assumes is the standard. This rocks. Get down on your knees. And side 1 closes with Australia, track 6. Wow, this is just like a roller coaster. Arthur's son Derek tries to convince him to come off Australia, all the wonderful opportunities out there. Or it's possibly Arthur, sort of like being a little bit sarcastic. This song is all over the place. Fast bits, slow bits, so much going on. And I love the harmonies and the long instrumental section as it, but like from half on, they start to have a proper little jam and it just rocks. Then we flip over. Side 2, track 1. Shangri-La. How good is this? Put on your slippers and get by the fire. You've reached your top and you just can't get any higher. Love it. And sorry for completely ruining it. This could be now. It could have slipped into my top Kinks songs, you know, up there with Waterloo Sunset and stuff like that, and Village Green. Magnificent, absolutely magnificent. The lyrics are filled with commentary on the British class, and it's very ironic. The beginning seems a little bit condescending as they mock Arthur, speaking of his modest home that he's bought and paid for, but through really a lot of hard work and toil. Brilliant. Track 2, Mr. Churchill said. And this song's divided into 2 parts. The first half is filled with moral boosting speeches from the British Army. And the singing on this, in places, kind of reminds me of Elvis Costello. And in the second half of the song, after that you hear the sirens go off, it sort of shifts to the ground during the bombing. Great, great riff. Track 3, She's bought a hat like Princess Marina. Love the harpsichord sort of intro and the slow progression through this song. A simple message, really. We all buy things we can't afford to try and keep up appearances and all that. Great message, great song. And I love the sort of like the last part of this. It's excellent. It's sort of like got a ragtimey film. It's all over the place. We don't care. Superb. Track 4, Young and innocent days. Really, really gentle intro to this and outro, and wonderful vocals. A nostalgic track really of Arthur looking back on his life and thinking, what's it all about? Trying to go back to when life was easy and simple. Track 5, Nothing to Say. So far, Papa, nothing to say. And this one's about alienation, I think, between family members. Reminiscent of, do you remember Walter from Village Green? Family members move out or move away. It's quite sad, really, you know. Their lives go separate ways and they really have nothing more in common to talk about. Great song, though. And track 6, Arthur. Poor Arthur. Born to a middle-class family, worked hard all his life, but all the time sees like corporate bosses just overtaking him every step of the way, and it just feels like he's stuck in a rut. But it has got a bit of a celebratory feel to it, you know. Arthur, the world's gone and passed you by, don't you know it? Don't you know it? Bloody brilliant it is. What an awesome ending for a perfect album. Love the sort of clapping. Oh, we love you and want to help you. Absolutely loved it. It's a masterpiece. Sounded fantastic on record. Is it the fall and decline of the British Empire? Or is it the fall and decline of Arthur? I can imagine this being quite influential, you know, amongst... it's awesome. I would love to have seen the play. You know, like we've seen Tommy. This has been compared to Tommy. And I get it in some ways, not quite as weird, but I can really relate to this. But I suppose it's all the cups of tea, you know, British stuff. Makes me want to dig into some more of this Kinks stuff. Oh, no. Another band I've fallen in love with. So a question for you. Is Arthur better than Village Green? So what's your thoughts on Arthur, or the decline and fall of the British Empire? I know there was a nice CD box set out last year with loads of extra tracks on it, and there's even like a double vinyl of this now with more songs on it. Anyway, right, hopefully I haven't gone on too long, guys. Like I said, I'm trying to keep these short. Comes highly recommended, and this is going to get played again today. Sounded great, and it's such a great album. Sit back if you've got it, read the lyrics, and just go on Arthur's journey. It's bloody wonderful. A little bit sad in places, but hey. But writing wise, I think Ray Davies was just on top form around about this period, 68, 69. Obviously, I've got to delve into Face to Face, Something Else, Muswell Hillbillies, etc. Anyway, sounded great, highly recommended. The decline and fall of the British Empire. Last night was Brexit. A lot of celebrations going on in London. Today's the first day we're out of the European Union. There's going to be a lot of upset people and there's a lot of happy people, but hopefully everyone start coming together again. It's been very divisive, this whole Brexit thing. That's all people talk about, and it's been going on for ages. So hopefully everyone can start coming together, and onward and upwards, UK. Right, this video has gone on way too long. Sorry, guys. Have a great weekend. I'll be back with another ramble real soon. Take care.